Young people in Niagara have a real issue going on these days. The economy's hurting. Some families are hurting. What are the pressures these young people are under? Some of these people, no offense, but some of these people end up in the criminal justice system, and we have to start talking about that more. So my guest today is Ron Dubciak, who's a local expert on youth and law. And Ron, welcome.
Thank you very much, John.
Now, you're so heavily involved and have been heavily involved with young people, sort of at the risk stage. Can you give us an assessment? How deep a problem is that for us?
I think that a lot of times we're just scratching the surface of the problem. We see a lot of our young kids going into the criminal justice system, and there's stages before that we can already identify the risks and barriers that we're seeing. From my experience, there are global issues, obviously, that we're all aware of. They could be lack of family support, no family existing, negative peer influence, poverty. There could be psychological issues. There's a whole gambit of big table issues that are facing kids today. But from my experience, there's really all the kids. There's an individual aspect to it, and that sort of thing. How they cope with it. So, although these big issues kind of surround like rings in a pond, it's the individual parts where the child needs the support and confidence that's lacking, and that's further exacerbated by the fact that with our educational system and then lack of employment. Once a child reaches a certain level of maturity and that sort of thing, where do they go? And that, I think, one of the biggest problems for these youth that are alienated is lack of membership into our society. We build programs that if a child has failed at school in a normal classroom setting, has no support systems, potentially homeless, whatever the case may be, a runaway, maybe an abused child, where if they failed in our current structure system, we develop these programs and put them back into exactly a mirror of that, and they've already failed in that, not through lack of intelligence or anything like that. These kids are smart. These kids survive day after day. Their coping skills are amazing. They have to live. They have to find a place to live, how to eat, and that sort of thing. And so the skill base is there. They just don't have membership or the confidence to have membership or the opportunity to have membership into the general community where they can blossom.
And perhaps this is a bit dramatic, Dave, but they could get membership in a gang.
Well, certainly, the only place that they're going to go, or people that they're going to associate, are individuals in the same boat. A young person in Grimsby, no doubt, knows the same kind of a person in the same situation in Fort Erie, and that sort of thing. If not only by reputation, the community is very small, and they have their own structure there.
But Ron, the institutions of our culture, whether it's the governments, the healthcare system, the school system, the social service, the mental health system, in essence, in their annual reports, they say they've had tremendous success, and yet I'm seeing young people in this region who are really lost.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that boils down to what I've termed financial warrant expiry. All our programs have a start and a finish. Whether it's a government-sponsored program, a private agency, we do a lot of head counting. We don't do the impact. Well, did this program really impact that person? If you take an average kid that I would work with, who potentially is in the criminal justice system, gang ties. Let's hypothetically say he's 18 years old. The potential is there for him already to have 2 kids. So now we've got, when you start adding it up across the board, first we've got the educational system that pays the tuition for him where he's failed. So that money's been rolled out. Then we have alternatives education. not working there, that money's rolled out. Now that the individual is on welfare or homeless, we add that on. If the person goes through the correctional system, you've got the police, you've got the court, and now you've got daily supervision. Plus, you have potential for mental health things. That young person now, on average, would cost us, when we add it all up across the board, 50 to 60 or 75,000 a year in support payments. We haven't moved that person forward, but every agency is successful because that kid showed up for 5 days or 10 days or whatever the case may
And
be.
so if I'm an executive director of an agency or a school board trustee or a government official, I would say with great pride, we had great success. We put 100 kids through this program.
Exactly. But what happens at the end of it? You know, has that young person moved forward? Have they broken their ties? And have we actually dealt with the risks? I think that one of the big problems is we decide what the risks are. It's like throwing a stone into a pond. We decide how close the rings are to that stone in terms of the circumference. So.
Ron, let me ask a question that I ask a lot of people. For all we know about psychology, sociology, education, faith communities, history, economics, for 2012, we know so much. We are so smart. Why are so many kids in trouble?
It comes back to me, as I said earlier. I think the biggest thing is that the kids really put their efforts into survival, their coping skills, and we really haven't provided them with the key end product, which is membership to the community. They can go to a class, learn how to do a resume. They can do this, interviewing skill and that sort of thing. But if I spend an hour in a program like that, or a couple hours, and then I go back to where I have to beg for food on the street or find a place to live, or my friends are about to do a B&E and that sort of thing, where are we? We're right back to where we started again. And they don't have the mentoring and they don't have the role models to give them the confidence to take that next step and use the skills that they have. And they have the intelligence, they have the skills. It's just a matter of taking them to the other side with it. And
so if you were the minister of whatever and you wanted to change this, what's the first thing you would change?
I would look at more programs that include the community. The community, going back to that old thing, it is a village, and if you're either part of the community or you're not part of the community. If you're not part of the community, instinct tells you to take advantage of where you can. So if we can move them into the community, and the only way by doing that is to expose them to the kind of things that you and I do, and open that kind of dialogue, give them that kind of confidence, give them that kind of exposure, and these kids start to blossom as they believe in themselves.
Ron, you do many, many things in the community. The latest thing you're involved with is you're the manager of Youth Resources Niagara. What is that?
I'm for Youth Resources Niagara is a agency, a nonprofit agency that's funded through the Youth Justice Ministry, and it is essentially they run a number of youth homes here in Niagara. Now, my position with them is I'm the project manager for Project Phoenix, which is a new program where we have some support by Trillium that matches up high-risk youth who are failing in the school system with seniors. And the seniors provide occupational and life skill mentoring in a green technology. So what they do is they work with these kids, teach them how to repair donated computers and recycle ones that have that are already basically garbage and can't be used again. And the computers that the kids fix are then donated to families throughout Niagara free of charge for Help a Child Succeed in School campaign. If we can put a computer in a single mom's home or a house of a working poor, where that young child now has more educational opportunities and that sort of thing, it makes absolutely sense. And the kids get a real pride in that because now they're developing skills and they're seeing an end product that, no matter what kind of risks or lifestyle a young person or even an adult has gone through and that sort of thing, there's that thing that if I've helped you, there's something, you feel something.
Yeah.
And that's what they're developing. And that's their entrance into as part of the community now.
Ron, thanks very much for coming. Very important message. We'll have you back soon.
Thank you.
So this is a big topic. Talk about it this week. I'll see you soon.